Okay guys, welcome back to another revision video with me, Dr. Octobeard, the only revision site that's not legally allowed to guarantee a grade 9. Not a guarantee. Today we're taking a synoptic approach to audience. This time out we're looking at active and passive audiences in video games, film, Zoella, and yes, radio. So let's crack on. I'm mad for crack! At base level, the idea of active and passive refers to what a text wants from its audience. Some texts, like games for example, pretty much require interactivity. If the player doesn't act, nothing happens. But modern mobile games go further than this. They actively pursue the player even when they're not playing, reminding you, badgering you even, to interact. This is what examiners mean when they ask how media texts construct audiences. How do they create the kind of audience that they want? Games often do this in their early sections, the tutorials that show you how to play the game the way the makers intended. Some games are clever with this.
The portal will open in 3, 2, 1.
Others, not so much. Both Kim Kardashian Hollywood and Lara Croft Go have this idea, to some extent, each one teaching the player how to act and what to value in the game. Going through tutorial levels is one of the media conventions players accept that makes games different from something like films. Can you imagine what a tutorial level that showed you how to watch a film would even look like?
It's time to enjoy the big screen experience. With no distractions, no sudden ringtones, no glaring screens, no talking.
But at a more complex level, there are levels of activity and passivity that audiences can be constructed as having, and consequences of each. Let's take a film trailer like Doctor Strange. On the one hand, it's a film trailer. Most films just want the audience to sit back and take it all in, be passive, enjoy the film. But film trailers need to construct an audience that wants to go out there and watch the film.
Teach me.
Some film trailers want an audience so active that they will take up the cause of the film before they've even seen it.
Mr. Speaker, could I recommend the Prime Minister supports British cinema and takes herself along to a cinema to see a Palme d'Or winning film, I, Daniel Blake.
However, the idea that the media can construct people, turn them around to a particular way of thinking, is quite a dangerous one.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
And the idea that audiences just passively soak all this up like some unquestioning sponge is even more dangerous. It suggests that the media can control people.
Resistance is futile.
This concept is called the hypodermic needle theory, a part of the effects theory, and it suggests that the media deliberately tries to construct audiences as passive, unquestioning receivers of messages, almost like the media is injecting them with its message and they are helpless to resist. Debates over just how passive audiences are challenged by something like a YouTube tutorial.
The Real Techniques 300, possibly one of my favourite ones.
On the one hand, it's a video. We're trained to sit back and passively switch off. But on the other hand, it's showing us how to do something, like put on makeup. And the thing with a video tutorial is...
Achoo! Really went for that.
That it's quite a personal relationship with the video maker. Sure, you can watch a YouTube tutorial in a group.
I pulled my hair! Dick!
Or even enjoy a revision video as a whole class. But a tutorial is generally watched one-on-one, and it requires an active audience. You're not sitting back and passively watching, you're engaging.
Now is the tricky part where you have to make the other eye the same as this eye.
You might pause the video or skip back through it. You might even re-watch it if the end result wasn't quite what you'd hoped.
Oh, I don't like it.
As well as interacting with the video maker by copying what she does, you're also more actively questioning the process. Will this work with my hair? Is this right for my skin tone? Would this look good on me? It's very different from a film. And Zoella's recent switch away from how-to videos and towards lifestyle videos means that she has switched from an active to a more passive audience. Engaging with an audience can often be achieved through something like a direct address.
First you must ask yourself, are you wealthy?
This is where the media product speaks directly to the audience. With video, this is easy to spot.
Where the is my money?
Most of the time, we don't even know.
Even magazines tend to have a certain tell that they're constructing an active audience. But what about radio? I've taken about 50 seconds out of the Tony Blackburn Radio 1 show and about the same amount of time from a Juliet and Nuga Beats 1 show and rigged them up to a direct address counter. Let's see what happens.
It's now a half minute past 7:15, if that makes sense. And at this time every morning, just like to explain, as it's the first morning of the Tony Blackburn shows, we should be kind of getting you out of bed, because it's very difficult to get out of bed in the morning, isn't it? And I know a lot of you don't have to go to work this morning, but at the same time, we must get you out of bed, because I want you to enjoy a Saturday morning. And we do this by having a bedroom twisting time. Twisting session. That's it, come on, up you get there, out of bed immediately, come on. No mucking about this morning at all, up you get, come on. It's now 19.5 minutes past 7 o'clock. Just like to remind you that Paul Hollingdale is on Radio 2, which can be heard on longwave, and also on VHF. That's Paul Hollingdale on the Breakfast Special, and if you switch over, I'll smash your transistors in.
Why? Was it the least favourite of all the songs?
No,
actually, one of
never.
our favourites.
It's actually one of our favourites, yeah. When we do this, it's hard to pick the songs that are going to be like the tracks for this, but we always kind of show different ones with different sides. Just get me drink over. Different sides of the album. I've spilt stuff. Sorry. iTunes
wait, I have to do a disclaimer. By the way, this whole interview might cut out because Liam spilled drink on the floor.
It's a can of undisclosed.
So if the interview cuts out, it's not my fault.
No.
Okay, but go on.
I won't take my fault for it either.
This is to play, and it's going to be great, okay?
Nice.
Have a great show tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You're going to be absolutely amazing.
Thanks for the advice.
The album, name of the album, Made in the AM. It's out November 13th.
Yeah.
You forgot.
Pre-order. No, I didn't forget.
Name of the album.
It's Made in the AM. I know it. Pre-order now, November 13th. You get a track straight away. It's called Infinity, and this is how it sounds. One Direction in the building. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Enjoy.
Tony Blackburn is one of the DJs that helped to popularise this direct address method of constructing an active audience. So why have Beats One gone the other way? What's in it for them to create a largely passive audience? Well, the first answer relates to the concept of scheduled broadcasting and once-only media. Think about a live sports match. It's on once, at a certain time, and then you'll never see it again. Probably. Once upon a time, all TV and radio was like this. But catch-up and on-demand services meant that people could create their own schedules, watch when they want. Beats One records the first show and rebroadcasts it later on.
Can you say that?
Yeah, for sure.
We actually prefer the last one.
I think the best thing.
This one's not as good.
What's more, you can find archived shows on its website and through its app. Apple doesn't care so much when you listen, just as long as you listen. The second answer is to do with the brand identity of the show. Beats One prides itself in being able to get top guests in to talk about their music and then playing some of that same music to audiences. Interestingly enough, most of this music is also available on Apple Music and iTunes, if you have a paid subscription. Because Apple wants you to buy their music, or a subscription to it at least, they want to create an experience of listening that is a mix of escapism and surveillance. You can lose yourself in their music, but you will also learn something about the band as well. This is very different from the sorts of pure entertainment given by Tony Blackburn. So the concept of active and passive audiences is more than just games active, films passive. It speaks to the ways in which the media industry wants to engage with its audience, and, ultimately, the sort of person that they want to construct as being counted in their audience.